On the Waterfront is a 1954 film directed by Elia Kazan. It stars Marlon Brando, Lee J. Cobb, Eva Marie Saint, and Carl Malden and Rod Steiger. Now, this film right here, it is one of my all-time favorites, easily. Top 50 for sure. It is it's a story of standing up for yourself and not letting anyone push you around. It's just so well made and well acted. This is without question Marlon Brando's best performance. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, The Godfather" and Apocalypse Now." Those may be better films than this, but in terms of sheer acting, Marlon Brando gives the performance of his career in this. He plays this young man named Terry Malloy, who is a former boxer, and he works on the waterfront, where he has a really corrupt superiors led by Lee J. Cobb, whose name's Johnny Friendly. They're almost like gangsters, and they're heavily corrupt. And yeah, it's very compelling. It's pretty gritty. Now, Brando really broke into the limelight a few years earlier with 1951's A Streetcar Named Desire um, when he played Stanley Kowalski. But this one right here, he's much more layered, a lot deeper, and a lot more likable also. Because Stanley Kowalski is not really a likable person at all, but with him as Terry Malloy in On Waterfront, he is both likable, admirable, kind of stuck up a little bit, but he's just he has like a million layers to him, and that's what I love about certain films. And it's also an inspirational tale too. So, what's the movie about? As I said, Terry Malloy, who's played by Brando, is a former boxer, and his superiors have asked him to take a dive during a match, which ultimately made his career as a boxer flop. So he's working on the waterfront with a bunch of superiors, and he's forced to rat on one of his friends, and his friend plunges to the death. And Terry didn't think that anything bad was going to happen. He just thought that they would like rough him up a little bit. He didn't know that it was going to mean actual death. And worst of all, he starts to romance the man's sister, who's played by Eva Marie Saint. So, yeah, as he falls in love with Eva Marie Saint. He starts to feel all the more conflicted inside, and that's when he becomes really good friends with the priest, who's played by Carl Malden, and they both tell him to stand up for yourself, and so yeah, eventually Terry does end up making a stand against his superiors, and it's just brilliant the way that he does it. Like there's this one scene where Terry, when he does a little bit of spoilers, sorry, when he does stand up to Lee J. Cobb, and that scene, it's chill to the bone with how amazing Brando is in it. Now, when Brando did this, he won the Oscar. The movie won 8 Oscars altogether. And this is back in the days before there was like a million different post-production CGI experts. This movie didn't need any of that. It's a powerful human-based film, and we don't really get a whole lot of those these days. It's one thing that I really miss about films of the 1950s. Yeah, a while ago I reviewed Brando in Last Tango in Paris. I would call Last Tango in Paris Brando's second best performance. While on Waterfront, number one easily. When Brando did A Streetcar Named Desire, that was said to be the film that really revolutionized acting. But okay, I can see why people would call Brando the guy that really revolutionized acting. But I would ultimately call On Waterfront, well, not because it's the better film, but his performance is just simply better, much more layered. Yeah, as an all-time favorite of mine, I gotta give this film the highest score possible, which is 4 stars.